If you've ever stood in your kitchen staring at the coffee maker, completely forgetting what you came in there for, if you've ever sat in a work meeting, watching your thoughts scatter like leaves while colleagues discuss projects you know you understand, you're not alone. And what you're experiencing has a $26.6 billion price tag that nobody talks about. I'm about to share something that could change how you understand what's happening in your mind, your career, and your life during midlife. And in 5 days, something could happen that changes everything for millions of women just like you and me. Welcome to The Power of Little, where we believe that small shifts can create big change without the hustle, without the pressure, and where sometimes falling back to understand how you arrived in your current season is exactly what you need to take the next step forward. I'm here to meet you exactly where you are, whether you're feeling lost, stuck, disconnected, or moving through what feels like an endless fog. Today, we're diving into something that affects 75% of women in midlife, costs our economy over $26 billion annually, and yet remains largely invisible in healthcare and in workplace conversations. Before we dive in, if content like this helps you feel less alone in your midlife journey, please hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Your support helps me reach more women who desperately need to hear this message. Let's start with some numbers that might completely reframe your experience. Every single day, 6,000 American women enter menopause. Every day, thousands more navigate perimenopause, that transition period that can begin years before your periods actually stop. And for 75% of these women, brain fog becomes an unwelcome, confusing companion. But here's what nobody tells you. This isn't just a personal struggle you need to power through alone. This collective experience of millions of women has created an economic crisis that costs our country $26.6 billion annually. To put that in perspective, that's more than the GDP of many entire countries. It's a crisis hiding in plain sight, affecting the most productive, experienced years of women's lives. You know what breaks my heart, though? I know brilliant women, doctors, lawyers, teachers, executives, entrepreneurs who tell me they're declining promotions, calling in sick more often, or considering early retirement because they can't think clearly anymore. They think something is fundamentally wrong with them. And I felt that way for over a decade. If that resonates with you, if you've been questioning your intelligence, your worth, your capabilities, I need you to hear this. What you're experiencing isn't weakness. It isn't failure. It's biology, and it has a name, a cause, and most importantly, solutions. Let's talk about what's actually happening in your brain during this transition, because understanding this can be the gentle first step towards getting the support that you deserve. Research shows that perimenopause significantly impacts verbal learning and memory, processing speed, attention and focus, and working memory. This isn't just normal aging that you should accept and suffer through. The hormonal changes during menopause, particularly declining estrogen levels, directly affect brain function in measurable, documented ways. Estrogen influences neurotransmitter activity, enhances serotonin and dopamine function, and helps maintain blood flow to the brain. All of these are crucial for memory, mood, and focus. Recent systematic reviews and meta-analyses involving over 27,000 participants have shown something remarkable. When hormone therapy is initiated early in the menopausal transition, it can actually improve verbal memory. But when started later, no such benefits are seen. This is what researchers call the critical window hypothesis. Timing matters tremendously. Now, I'm not here to tell you what medical decisions to make. That's a conversation between you and your healthcare provider. But I am here to tell you that what you're experiencing has been studied, measured, and validated by researchers who found it significant enough to quantify in billions of dollars. Your experience matters, your struggle is real, and you deserve support. Let's talk about what this looks like in real life, because the workplace statistics tell a story that might feel achingly familiar. 90% of menopausal women report reduced productivity at work. 75% experience brain fog that directly impairs job performance. 45% of women take sick days specifically due to menopause symptoms, and 13% face adverse work outcomes, job changes, early retirement, and declining promotions. I want to share a message I received last week from one of my followers. She wrote, "I used to be the person everyone came to for complex problem solving. I was known for my sharp thinking and ability to see solutions that other people missed. Now, I struggle to follow simple conversations in meetings. I've turned down 2 promotion opportunities this year because I didn't trust my brain anymore. I feel like I'm disappearing." Her story isn't unique. Only 21% of women experiencing menopause symptoms receive adequate treatment. Think about that for a moment. We have a crisis affecting 3/4 of women in their peak career years, costing billions in productivity, and only 1 in 5 women gets proper medical support. That $26.6 billion annual cost, it breaks down to $1.8 billion in lost productivity and $24.8 billion in direct medical expenses. But here's where the power of little philosophy becomes so important. You don't need to fix everything at once. You don't need to become a hormone expert overnight. You don't need to completely overhaul your life or career. Sometimes the most powerful step is simply understanding that what you're experiencing is real, valid, and shared by millions of intelligent, capable women. Brain fog doesn't exist in isolation. It's often accompanied by a constellation of other symptoms that compound the cognitive challenges. 80% of women experience sleep disturbances during menopause, creating a vicious cycle where poor sleep worsens cognitive function, which increases stress and anxiety, which further disrupts sleep. 78% report mood changes, including irritability, anxiety, and depression during the menopausal transition, making it harder to maintain focus and motivation at work and at home. Hot flashes, joint pain, and energy fluctuations create additional stress on cognitive resources, leaving less mental energy available for complex thinking tasks. Perhaps most heartbreaking, many women describe feeling like strangers in their own bodies and minds, leading to decreased confidence in their abilities and reluctance to take on challenging projects or opportunities. When you're not sleeping well, your mood suffers. And when your mood suffers, your thinking becomes cloudier. When your thinking is cloudy, your confidence drops. And when your confidence drops, you start pulling back from opportunities. It becomes a downward spiral that affects every area of life. But here's what gives me hope, and what should give you hope too. In 5 days, on July 17th, something important is happening that could change the landscape of menopause care in America. An expert panel at the FDA will discuss removing the black box warning on vaginal estrogen. This might sound technical, but here's why it matters deeply. This warning has created unnecessary fear around a treatment that research shows to be both safe and effective for many women experiencing vaginal dryness, painful intercourse, and urinary symptoms that often accompany menopause. The black box warning has prevented both healthcare providers and patients from considering this treatment option, even when it could provide significant relief. Removing this warning could increase access to care for millions of women, reduce the stigma that prevents healthcare providers and patients from discussing treatment options, and potentially save billions in healthcare costs by treating symptoms before they become more severe. Most importantly, it will help millions of women get relief from treatable symptoms that are currently destroying their quality of life. This panel represents more than a policy discussion. It represents hope for the millions of women who have been struggling in silence, wondering if there's something better than just dealing with it. For too long, women have been told that cognitive decline, mood changes, and physical discomfort are just part of getting older, that they need to accept it or to push through it or suffer in silence. But what if they don't have to? While we're working towards systemic change, here are some gentle steps that align with the power of little philosophy, small shifts that can make a meaningful difference. The first one, document your experience. Keep a simple symptom journal. Note when brain fog is worst, what might trigger it, and what seems to help. This information becomes incredibly valuable when discussing treatment options with healthcare providers. Number 2, educate yourself gradually. You don't need to research everything at once. Start with one reliable source like the North American Menopause Society website and learn at your own pace without pressure. Number 3, connect with others. Whether it's an online support group, a trusted friend, or a healthcare provider who specializes in menopause, breaking the isolation around those experiences can be powerfully healing. Number 4, practice self-compassion. On days when your thinking feels unclear, remind yourself that this is a temporary biological transition, not a reflection of your intelligence, worth, or capabilities. And number 5, explore gentle support. Simple interventions like establishing regular sleep schedules, stress reduction techniques, and appropriate nutritional support can sometimes provide meaningful relief while you consider other options. Remember, healing doesn't require dramatic overhauls or perfect adherence to complex protocols. Sometimes it starts with one conversation with the right healthcare provider, one small step toward understanding your options, one moment of self-compassion instead of self-criticism. This is part 1 of a 5-part series leading up to July 17th. Each day, we'll explore different aspects of this hidden crisis. In part 2, I will cover why 75% of women are struggling in silence at work and how untreated menopause symptoms are creating a workplace productivity crisis that affects entire organizations, not just individual women. In part 3, I will cover the relationship toll nobody talks about, how menopause symptoms are contributing to divorce rates and family stress, and why love alone isn't enough when symptoms go untreated. In part 4, I will cover the science of reclaiming your mental clarity, evidence-based treatment options that can restore cognitive function and help you feel like yourself again. And on the last day, I will discuss how you can be part of the change, specific ways to support policy changes that could improve menopause care for millions of women. Each piece will include resources, gentle next steps, and the kind of evidence-based hope that comes from understanding that your experience matters, not just to you, but to the millions of women walking this path alongside you. If you've watched this far, you've already taken a small but meaningful step. You've chosen to spend time learning about something that affects your daily life. You've decided that your experience deserves understanding rather than dismissal. That's not a small thing. That's actually the beginning of everything. Whether you're in the thick of perimenopause, navigating menopause, or supporting someone who is, remember this. The fog you're experiencing doesn't define your capability, your intelligence, or your worth. It's temporary weather in the climate of your life. And like all weather, it can change. Sometimes it changes with time. Sometimes it changes with treatment. Sometimes it changes with understanding, support, and small steps towards advocating for the care that you deserve. If this resonated with you, I'd love for you to subscribe and hit that notification bell for the rest of this series. Visit poweroflittle.com for gentle, evidence-based resources designed to meet you exactly where you are. Share this video with someone who might need to hear this message. Leave a comment below sharing your experience. Your voice matters and helps other women feel less alone. The most important thing to remember is that you're not alone in this fog. Millions of women are navigating the same cloudy territory, and together we can work towards a future where this transition includes the support, understanding, and treatment that every woman deserves. Until then, be gentle with yourself. You're navigating something significant, and you're doing it with more strength than you probably realize. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow for part 2 of this series. Remember, small shifts, big change, and you're never alone in this journey.